Hi everyone, welcome to this week's video. My name is Triza Akuka from Pinnacle Executive Coaching. This week we are going to talk about how to spend time for maximum impact. So, as a leader, how do we manage our time? How do we spend time so that we can be effective? There's a free guide I've been giving out talking about the Kaizen principle. So I'll put the link in the comment section. But Kaizen simply means improvement. It's an idea that you're employing small changes on a continuous basis in order to add up to one big impact. So it's about focusing on small details in order to make your workflow more efficient. Time for a leader is very critical, and we need to be effective when we are doing our tasks, what is required of us. So how do executive leaders manage to become efficient in time management and how they handle their tasks? We need to focus and remove chaos and increase effectiveness in everything that we are doing. One of the genius task management tools that we can deploy as leaders is using a matrix that was developed by someone called Eisenhower. Eisenhower was a former US president, and he developed a matrix that can help a leader to move from being a reactive leader to being creative, to being strategic, and being inspiring by increasing their task efficiency. Basically, whenever you face any issue, you want to look at it in terms of urgency and importance. If it's very urgent and it's very important, then you need to go ahead and do it immediately. At the spur of the moment, once you have realized that this thing needs to be done, it needs to move. If it's not urgent but it is important, you need to plan for it. If it's urgent but not important, you need to delegate. Don't waste your time doing it. See how else it can be done, because it's urgent but it's not important. If it's not urgent or not important, maybe you just need to totally eliminate it from your matrix. But how do we know that something is important? How do we know what is urgent? Importance, you need to look at, is this task helping you in any way progress towards your goals? If it is, then it is important. In times of urgency, we are looking at timelines. If this task can be finalized today, as well as tomorrow, or even next week, perhaps even next year, then it's not urgent. It means it can wait. If something can wait, then it's not urgent. So that's how you classify what is important, what is critically important, and what is urgent. And then now you can be able to go back to the matrix and find out what is urgent and important that you need to do. These are emergencies, unplanned issues, which always come. Life is like that. You will get a medical emergency. Sometimes you will get something has broken down and you cannot afford to ignore it. It has to be fixed. It's a pressing problem. It's a client project which is on the completion deadline. It has to be done. Maybe it's even something personal, like picking your children from school. You cannot wait. So when urgent and critical issues come up, as a leader, you need to have planned for them. Not you didn't anticipate an emergency, but you need to always plan your time such that you make a provision that an emergency could come up and you'd have some time to spare to handle that. When you deal with it, you need now to sit down and reflect. How did this emergency crisis occur? Is there a way we can make sure it never recurs, that so you can plan for it? Or you need to diminish its recurrence so that it doesn't pull you out of your time. Because remember, this is not something that was scheduled, this is not something that was planned, but had to be acted upon. So you need to see what you can do in order to make sure you minimize such occurrences. Next, we go to the not urgent but important. This is where, as a leader, you need to spend your time. You need to spend your time, most of your time here. You should schedule this because it is planned, it's not urgent. And then do it perfectly so that now you don't have to run about later trying to fix something on an emergency basis when you had the time and the luxury to do it well. Some of the things that can fall in this quadrant are like personal development, strategic planning, networking, personal exercise. These are things that are very important and they need to be scheduled and planned and done very well, because these are the things that will enable you to execute your work properly and be able to get your tasks done efficiently. And then we come to the third quadrant, what is urgent but not important. Here we can talk about routine emails, phone calls. These are things that sometimes can be done by someone else. You don't have to do everything. If you find yourself as a leader doing everything, it means most likely you are micromanaging your team, you are micromanaging your staff, or you're micromanaging your clients. You can delegate some of these things. You need to spend less time here. You also need to do these tasks when your energy levels are not prime. When your energy levels are lower, then you can attribute some of that time to do things that are in this quadrant. And then we come to the fourth one, which is not urgent and not important. You basically need to be very hard on yourself to eliminate this thing from your task list. If they are not urgent, they are not important. Why are they appearing on the list? If you can eliminate them, the better. So this could be, trivia, watching an entertainment thing. There are things which just come up, interruptions which you could actually avoid to be distracted from your daily work and routine. So in a long-term sense, yes, you need to have some tasks there, but you should really spend the least possible time in this quadrant, and if possible, just simply eliminate them. Remember, as a leader, you need to be very efficient. Being efficient means spend your most time. You've heard of the 80-20 rule, where 80% of your effort needs to be concentrated on the things that will give you maximum impact. So make sure you spend at least 80% of your time on the things that are not urgent and important. The other 20% can be divided between what is urgent, what is urgent but not important. But remember, the quote by the owner of this matrix, Dwight Eisenhower, said, "What is important is seldom urgent, but what is urgent is seldom important." So you see, crises can come and distract you from doing your main tasks, which will make you efficient. So you need to be always on the lookout so that you don't miss what is important and what needs to be done. And what are the benefits of planning your tasks in a way that is efficient and that will buy you time? When you list all your tasks so that you can be able to look and classify them, are they important or are they urgent? It will enable you not to miss anything, because you will be able to account for everything that you need to do. So there are some things which you might have ignored but which would have cost you, but when you list all of them, you will be able to capture everything and you will not miss out on anything. Number 2, it will help you to focus on the strategic tasks, those ones which are very important but not urgent, and in the long run will buy you time. Number 3, you will be able to get the motivation to delegate to your team, especially on the things which are urgent but they're not important. And therefore you can be able to give tasks to your team which can grow your team, and it will help you to avoid burnout. So number 4, it means when you're able to balance your tasks efficiently and manage your time better, you will be able to achieve a work-life balance, which is very critical for your survival as a leader. So I trust that these tips have helped you to gain some insight on how you can manage your time effectively for this coming week. Please subscribe to the channel if you've not yet done. Share this video. Reach out to me through my Facebook page, Instagram, or send me an email and tell me how you can connect with me better, even for coaching opportunities. Thank you and see you soon.